The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. Just as a dollar value, how much would you pay to be in that little room out the back of Josie's and watch Matt and Karen fuck?
Listen, man, I'm a broke college student. Take all the $2 that I have.
We'll pool our money and we'll watch Daredevil Born to Fucking, because holy shit, I love the fact that there are a couple in this season. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Filmatics Podcast. It's our bonus episode on Born Again Season 2, Born Again. If you want to hear our thoughts about Born Again Season 1, you can actually go back to our original written reviews, which are on the Filmatics page and on our individual pages as well. But we're going to be talking about Season 2 today. I loved it. Did you love it?
It's the bonus double Ds.
It's the bonus double Ds eps. That's right. You're getting all these extra episodes in between on our run up to get to 100. But yeah, it had to be done. We had to sort of dedicate a bit of time to it because it is a really, really exceptional show. And probably I was listening to I was talking about them. We Hate Movies they've got a great bonus show called Too Old for This Shit. And it's where they just talk about nerd stuff, and they did an episode on this, and Andrew Dupin said he feels that the original 3 Netflix seasons of Daredevil and these next 2 seasons of Born Again and seasons 1 and season 2 are the best thing that Marvel has done, and the most well executed thing that Marvel has done. And I tend to agree. No, big long pause there. That's not great on a podcast, dude. We've only been doing this for fucking 95 episodes or some shit. But either way, like whether you agree with that or not, it's particularly great. We've got, of course, Charlie Cox playing Daredevil, Matthew Murdock, Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk. We've got some new additions. Returning from season 1 is Margarita Leviva, I think her name is, or Laiva, playing Heather Glenn. A dude named Artie Froshan is playing Buck Cashman, which is really, really great. Returning again is Michael Gandolfini, excuse me.
Wow.
Playing Daniel Blake. Yeah, pretty crazy. Hamish Allen Headley playing Powell, just in an absolutely chilling performance. And Deborah Ann Wall returning fantastically, for the entire season as co-vigilante to Daredevil. She's even doing some ass kicking herself. Karen Page, just fantastic. Tony Dalton as the swordsman, fucking love him. He ends up funding them basically. And the great addition of Matthew Lillard playing Mr. Charles. Of course, the series directors and showrunners are Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who did such a fantastic job on Moon Knight, which I'm currently rewatching and still fucking rules. I don't know, where do you begin?
It is both seasons of Loki, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they've got their finger on the pulse when it comes to this kind of stuff of how to make it work, in the reality of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is and the totality of that, but also having it feel really isolated. Like all this shit is happening. Like in the pilot episode, they sink a fucking boat in New York Harbor, Northern Star, and that's kind of, it's the catalyst for the entire season, really. It's excellent action sequence as well, where we have the great visual storytelling gag of, the frame becoming, going from the full, 16:9, so 185 to a 235, which is the with the black bars and the focusing on the sound design to articulate Matt's abilities, which is really, really cool. But yeah, I fucking love it. You talk about stuff. Tell me how you feel.
Oh, man. I remember us talking about season 1 and being on polar opposite ends of that season.
I'm a Daredevil simp. Remember that.
That is true. And you made me a simp for Daredevil, but then I fell in love with Daredevil like genuinely in season 3. They killed my guy. They killed Foggy in season 1, and I'm still not over it. But fuck, season 2 was great. It felt like a return to form. It felt like they understood the legacy of the original show. I just don't understand why if they could make it look like the original show in the flashback, why can't they make it look like the original show in the first place?
I do feel like they're trying to set themselves apart a little bit from it, and even in so much as Daredevil's, like, the action is different. There's still the extended takes, and it's still very hand to hand. But he's using his billy club like he does in the comics. They're framing it a lot more like they do in the comics. They are relying a little bit more on CG, which is they didn't have the money for that at Netflix. They didn't have the money that they have here, and it was Disney Plus's most popular show for a little bit, so it's obviously working whatever they're doing. But I think the thing. The reason it works so much for me, and season 1's the same, is the cast. It's really well produced. The story's excellent. It follows along. And look, there's no mistake. I was talking to the guys on the Till the End of the Line podcast about this. There's no mistake that it centers around a elected official who is using, a militarized segment of the police force in a mercenary fashion to target minorities, whether they happen to be people in masks or people of a different color. And I know that they were like, yeah, that was kind of an accent in season 1. Bullshit. They knew exactly what they're doing. Fisk is the perfect Trumpian character. Totally devoid of reason, totally devoid of understanding that what they're the things that they say sound insane, and also a massive baby. Like, yes. As soon as he doesn't get his way, he cracks skulls and kills people. If Donald Trump could do that to people and get away with it, he fucking would. And if he was built like the Kingpin, he fucking would. So yeah, and again, articulated by Powell, like the zealot-like dedication of people who just like violence to a cause like this is incredibly dangerous. And I think they're speaking to that really specifically. But the casting, D'Onofrio's just really, really blossomed in this. The Daredevil season 1 to 3, he's great in, but he loses his wife in this season, and there's nothing to test an actor more than grief. Really, really powerful. Speaking about grief, just briefly though, one of my friends, Kate, loves the original Daredevil series and couldn't watch Born Again because they killed Foggy. And I told her to go back, fair. And she hasn't yet. But she talked about Charlie Cox being such a great actor, and he is. We all know he is, and he got fucking yoked to play Daredevil again after such a huge break. He looks great, but the mannerisms and how he portrays a blind person and the very, very small things that he's doing are really, really exceptional. And to have him play opposite Deborah Ann Wall, who is hands down one of the most talented actresses of her generation. She's so believable in even in the melodramatic aspect of the show. To have them have the space together again, and then he goes in, she's there training, they have a back and forth, and then they kiss, and I'm like, they're a couple. They tell each other they love each other like half a dozen times throughout this season. Like, it's a whole, you've never seen this in Daredevil because they were never together like that. She was with him and then left and then was a junkie and then he saved her and then she fucking gets murked by Bullseye. Like, they never had that. But to have Karen be a real character with real agency and a real insight into, it's what we were talking about where she says about Bullseye, let me kill him for you. I can do it. And he's like, you sound like Frank. Like, to have her on the opposite side, but yet have them be a romantic couple. That was what really did it for me this season. Not only this amazing dedication to the action, like the breakout scene from the fucking the vigilante sort of cells, the containment cells, where they get out with swordsmen and stuff. Just taking it to the next level. yeah, like the relationship between Matt and Karen straining so much, and then her becoming a vigilante and getting caught, like, holy fucking shit, Karen Page, and then, going to court and all that stuff. It was just, yeah, like, I can't break you out. Like, just the understanding and that they were a team. I fucking loved that. That was my favorite part about the whole show.
It's also the first time you've seen a couple in the MCU. Like a couple that genuinely says "I love you" to each other.
Yeah, even Tony and Pepper don't do that.
Yeah, and like this somehow feels so much realer than like most of it.
And as much as I enjoyed this, and I know it's kind of maligned by people, I don't really get it, but She-Hulk, Matt was kind of a punchline. She's like, she fucking ground one out on him, and then he bounced in a yellow costume, and that was the end of his shit. Like, this is a very serious, real person behind that mask who I'm just rewatching season 2. And he basically says to Frank, we need to find the blacksmith. And he's like, maybe your way works this time. He's like, nah, man. Like Frank says, you can't. As soon as you do that, that's it. Like you are that then. And you. I don't think you're ready to be me. And he's not. And he knows it this time. Like he's so sure of it that he reveals his identity as opposed to doing it. Yeah, I just fucking love the character of Daredevil and the way that Charlie Cox is able to play that the pathos of that, of trying to do the right thing while kind of doing the wrong thing at the same time.
Like there's pathos in his performance, but also complexity. Like so much of it is about him not becoming Frank to a point where it genuinely scares him. Like we start off this season and he doesn't give a fuck. He's in all black.
Yeah, he's spray painted the costume. I think it looks great. And by the time you get halfway through the season, it's starting to shear off.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the red kind of peeking through, like graphically. And if you look at all the promotional stuff, like if you look at the posters that I've used to promote this episode on Instagram, like the tile and the thing like that, it's a really interesting dynamic image choice that's going on. And yeah, the black costumes a huge part of it. And again, what I feel like is them leading into Shadowland, but we'll see what happens.
And you see like the devil of Hell's Kitchen come out of the darkness. And I'm going to talk about the very last episode because I feel like it is the most Daredevil thing. Because he is not in costume in that episode. He is wearing red. But for the first time he is fighting Fisk on his home turf. Like this is Daredevil's arena. This is Matt Murdock has home court advantage. And Matt Murdock makes a fucking joke out of the mayor. And Fisk takes the bait. And I said it when we talked about it when the episode came out, but to have the opposite happen this season, we're in season 1 of Born Again, he takes a bullet for Fisk to save him. This time he willingly takes a bullet for Karen. But he takes it for somebody that he loves, and he says, "I am Daredevil," and it is the implications of it being like the carrying on of legacy of Tony Stark and like the entirety of MCU aside, the motherfucker outs himself by trying and still tries to save everybody, and he goes to jail, and it is the most badass fucking shot of him just smiling.
Just a smirk into the camera like
he did it.
I knew this was going to happen. All of this has come to pass. It is the casual nature by which he gets on his knees in that restaurant. Where he's like, I thought we'd have more time. And then he just gets down and puts his hands back, and it's like, Matt Murdock, you're under arrest for fucking attempted murder and, breaking and entering and all the stuff that he would have done as a vigilante. But he knew, he was a lawyer. He knew what he was doing the whole time. That's why the dichotomy of him as a character, of being one, a person who is dedicated to upholding the law, and two, someone who is actively a lawbreaker, even if it is for the good, is why the character is so interesting. in its entirety, and is really well articulated in these shows. The Daredevil series from Netflix and Born Again on Disney Plus. The way that they allow him to play that. And the other thing that I've noticed about it as well, these 2 seasons of Born Again, in a way that, having rewatched seasons 1 and 2 of Daredevil recently, the ancillary characters get a lot more play. Like, you do have a few bits and pieces, like Mrs. Cardenas and all that kind of stuff in season 1, and the cop friend, and, in season 2, you've got Frank, obviously, but he's, a big part of the ensemble, but of the, there's kind of 4 core characters. But without Foggy and just with Karen and Matt as being central to as protagonists in Born Again season 2, you have all of this other stuff going on. Like Michael Gandolfini's character, Daniel Blake, he's slowly losing the corruption almost. And you see him in that boxing match, like he's totally dedicated to this fucking this ideologized version of Wilson Fisk that he has in his head, and the relationship that he builds with Kristen, BB. So there's that little corner going on. Then you've got Wilson and Vanessa going on. So you've got that kind of, and the back alley deals that Vanessa's doing with the government in New York, sort of trying to kind of hold Wilson at bay a little bit. And then you've got Mr. Charles coming in, and he's this weird, in the comics, that character works for the woman who you see at the end of Thunderbolts. What's her name again?
Fucking Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, yeah, but I can't remember the name of the character.
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Holy shit.
Thank you, yeah. So he works for her, and he's doing all sorts of nefarious shit with Luke Cage, no less. Which is, we'll come to that a little bit later. So you've got that sort of going on as well. And then you've got the fantastic storyline of Heather kind of having had this altercation with Muse in season 1, and it's kind of corrupted her personally. Like she fucking slaps Karen in that fucking... I love that scene where she talks about how complicated and fucked up Matt is, and that it's kind of hot.
Yeah.
She's basically going, I'm fucking on that D all the time now, and you don't even know about it. We're doing D&D our own way. And Deborah Amwell loves D&D. And that kind of, that's happening. But then you've also got the fantastic relationship with Buck, and he's kind of... He's sort of like Wesley, and Wesley got him the job. Like you see in the flashback that he's the hitman that they hire, and then he comes into work for him. And Buck and Heather have this weird thing going on. You see it in the final episode after Buck gets shot, and all of these really, Sheila Rivera and her, like the deputy mayor thing, and then Powell and his fucking insane shit. Like there's this beautiful patchwork of character shit going on that's all really story critical, and it doesn't feel like they're just trying to like build people up to give them a show. You know what I mean? It's like, and yeah, I fucking love that. I think it's really the balance of it. And the pace of it over the 8 episodes is just really, really beautiful.
It's also paced better than season 1 was.
Season 1 was such a sort of calamity, like you said, there's so much fucking shit going on. Yeah, it's kind of hard to... That it was these different pieces as well, that kind of makes it difficult too.
I know, I talked about it in season 1, and here's my favorite part of season 1. Wilson Bethel is Bullseye.
Yes. Yeah, I was about to say, do you want to chat about... That's why I left him out, because I knew that you'd want to talk about him.
Yeah, like, what a fucking performance, man. To bring him back from season 3. You know how Matt Murdock, or like Daredevil, is one bad day away from becoming Frank Castle? Bullseye is Daredevil becoming Frank Castle and being okay with it.
Yeah, that's such a good way to put it. That is Matt at his most, like... dangerous, but also none of the Catholic guilt.
There's no God. If there was one, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, if there was a God, he'd stop me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean he's so great, and it's such an interesting addition to, whereas in just completely antagonistic role, he's kind of on Daredevil's side in a way in this, and is going after the anti-vigilante task force, and the fantastic scene where Matt saves him and they're on the run together and he won't let him say Foggy's name. Like, and then he's unconscious, and that's one of my favorite scenes is where Karen's like, let me kill him for you. Like, and she would do it. You know, she would do it. And that's to create that rift between them and have him be the catalyst for that. And then also that he ends up, like, Luke comes home and to Jessica Jones and he's like, yeah, Mr. Charles got someone else. And you see them on the plane together and these go, okay, well, now Mr. Charles gets, the perfect killing machine who's a crack shot no matter what he's got in his hands, can take out every motherfucker with fucking, he'll kill you with a goddamn diaphragm out of and a condom and a fuck all and a prescription birth control pill and all birth control stuff he's really good with, along with other things as well.
or lobster legs for that matter. Or like lobster.
That's such a great scene. Just where he comes in as well and he's like, what's good here? He's kind of got the American Psycho thing going on. Milkshakes. I'll have a banana milkshake. And then he intentionally fucking calls these guys and is like, Daredevil's here.
Fucking amazing. He says Frank Castle is here.
He says Frank Castle's there. That's right. Yeah.
And then he ends the call with, oh no, he has a gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Frank, like, noticeably absent. And my understanding is that the beginning of One Last Kill, where it talks about him going after the Nucci crime family, which was like the last in the line of people who had anything to do with Frank's family's murder, that's kind of happening concurrently to Born Again season 2, which is why he's not in it, which totally makes sense. But also Bernthal was doing 11 other things at the time. It's like being in a Spider-Man movie, he's doing his own show, like the single episode thing, but he's also doing His and Hers, a TV show. He's fucking got his podcast. He's doing, fucking been in the Odyssey. Like, he's busy. He's a busy dude.
Because of how much there was Bullseye this season, I didn't really miss Frank.
Yeah, that's fine. Frank's a really heavy spice too. Like, he's used like sparingly in season 2. He's he kind of owns those first 6 episodes, but after that they're kind of into the hand stuff, and he only appears to kind of set up his show and to set up the relationship between him and Karen. I also feel like if I was Matt, I'd be super intimidated by how close Karen and Frank got.
Agreed.
Because he's such a dude, and Matt's kind of like, oh, hi, I'm into old Catholic guilt and stuff, but, and here's Frank, who's like just the peak of masculinity, not the fact that he kills people and stuff, but it's Bernthal, for crying out loud. I mean, the dude is masculine incarnate. But yeah, I also love the fact as well, speaking of masculine and feminine, archetypes and all that kind of stuff, that Karen's training.
Yeah. And
there's great point where they're doing the trapping drills, the martial arts trapping drills, and he goes a bit hard. And she's like, hey. And he's like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. He just gets into the mode of it. Like, I love those little moments, the parts where you understand that he is coiled so tightly as a character because of the burden of what he has to do, and the power that his enhanced abilities give him, in terms of touch and sensitivity. Like, of course he's a raw nerve all the time. Imagine that amount of input. It's bad enough when you've got normal fucking hearing and shit, to be super heightened. But that was also a question that the guys asked me until the end of the line. And I was just talking about, Matt and Karen, being sexually satisfied by one another, because Matt's got some technique that you don't even know about yet. He knows where there's pressure points on your body based on like blood flow and pulse and all that kind of shit. He could touch your little toe and give you 6 orgasms at once. I'm just saying, I reckon he's got some fingering techniques that no one's even ever heard of before. It's like Batman. Like, Batman's this martial artist. He knows the human body in and out, all that kind of stuff. He knows his way around G-spots. That's all I'm saying.
Was there something in this season that didn't really work for you?
not that it didn't work, they just came back to it too often, was the BB's propaganda stuff. Like, I get it. I understand.
City Without Fear thing?
Yeah, like what I understand why it was there. And it also feeds into the finding the first mate from the sinking of the Northern Star.
Yep.
Because they scuttled the ship and sank it intentionally and all that stuff. But it was just, they kept going back to BB stuff. And I loved, if it wasn't Gandolfini, I don't think it would work as well. Like how he and BB, like he kind of starts to understand that she's the leak. Because what's his name says?
Buck?
Buck. Sorry, I lost it for a second. He says, feed her some bad intel and see what happens. And then you've got that great scene where they're at his mum's house and doing the birthday thing, and he's like, and in the end, he ends up standing up for her, which is really great, and gets killed for it, no less. Like after he's helped Buck bury a body, like that's the moment when you know you're in too deep. There's been conversations had by elected officials to subordinates or people on their campaigns that have been like, I'm ride or die with you. And then all of a sudden you've got to do something dangerous or illegal or at least amoral. That's happened all throughout fucking history. And I guarantee is happening a lot now. Fucking season 3 of this fucking shit show that's going on. It's absolutely the case that somebody who has been a ride or die Trump supporter for his entire political career has been asked to do something unsavory or, if not illegal, something that they don't align with personally and have had to do it. And it's a really good articulation of that because Daniel's so young as well that he would go along. And the sacrificing of himself for BB kind of buys that back.
Do you know he wasn't meant to die?
Really?
They killed him in the edit.
Oh my God, really? How did they do that?
So they shot the scene, and in the scene, Buck doesn't shoot him. He just walks away.
I can't remember. Does it like cut? Is it a shotgun and then cut to black or something?
No, they show him shoot him, and they show him like his head coming up and then going back down as he's shot in the head.
Yeah, right.
But they did that with CGI. Because in the script he lets him live, and so the scene afterwards in the last episode, where Buck walks into Fisk's office, they shot that in the context that he let him live. That's why it's a little weird that he doesn't really say anything to him. Or there was like a dialogue scene that they had to cut because it was implying that he might have let him live or whatever. And I'm right there with you. I think if it's not Michael Gandolfini, I don't think that character works. Because I also don't think that it's written really well. The BB and Daniel Blake stuff and the Heather Glenn stuff, I feel like those three they got a lot of attention. Like, because they were supposed to be building to something. I don't think they were written really well. Like I knew that Heather was, and like I knew the Muse stuff was happening because I'd seen the leaks from season 3, and it was just like it was there. So I was like, fuck. But yeah, it was just like knowing that it was coming. I was like, okay, I understand, but like it still doesn't really it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But I'm good with it happening. I just feel like it took a lot of time, yet there was no actual development for it. Like you see her being haunted by Muse, but like there's a difference between being haunted by Muse and then becoming Muse, you know? Because that happens in the comics, and in the comics it's Lady Muse, but like it's a body that's possessed with the original Muse's spirit, and so it's a possession thing.
And they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they. I mean, you know, they could in season 3's Matt Murdock fighting the fucking devil in hell.
I certainly hope not. I would rather him be, you know, taking over the hand and fighting other vigilantes because he loses his mind after they kill Karen. That's what I think is going to happen, everybody. Yeah, I don't want it to happen, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, that's because you were saying this, right? And then we recorded an episode where you said that, and I was like, I think it's going to be Vanessa that dies. But then I thought I'll come back to it like the next time we record. But by the time we'd record the next episode, Vanessa had died in the interim of our recordings. I was like, oh shit, I missed my chance to see
You missed your opportunity. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just feel like in terms of thematic arcs, it would be the most interesting for like you said, Matt is one bad day away from being Frank, and Bullseye is what he would be if that happened. The version of Matt that loses Karen to his own crusade is the version that says no one is safe anymore. Like in terms of if you are a threat, New York City is under my rule, and he becomes a warlord, and the Hand get in on it because he's the new Black Sky. Because Elektra
that's insane
is actually dead or whatever. I also like the fact that they're no longer treating the Netflix series, all of it. I don't just mean the Daredevil episode seasons, but the fact that Karen, features heavily in this season, and that has a daughter with Luke Cage, which is canonically the same in the comics.
You mean Jessica?
What did I say?
Karen.
Sorry, yes, Jessica Jones featuring heavily in this season, and that she's got her powers are kind of on the fritz a little bit, and why is that happening? Like there's a bit of an arc going on, and then you see her at the end. She's still running Alias investigations. Luke comes back from working overseas. They're together. Is that a show? I don't know. That kid has powers in the comics. She's invulnerable and has super strength and can fly and shit. That could be really cool. But yeah, and we know that the young kid who I'm going to give a second chance to, I know I've made a lot of jokes about it on this show about Iron Fist, but I'm going to watch the Iron Fist show before that season comes out. I'm up to the beginning of the first season of Luke Cage in my Netflix originals, the original series watch. So I'm going to watch that as well. But, not treating those Netflix series like the fucking redheaded stepchild that everybody felt that they were, when really they were doing some of the best work that was going on at that particular period of time. It was just post-Avengers. Everything had blown up. They had a lot of eyes on them. And because of the 13-episode order and the fact that there was, their creative teams was shuffled so regularly. I mean, Drew Goddard dropped out. He was the showrunner who dropped out after episode 1 so he could write Sinister Six, and fucking in came like Steve McKnight and Stephen DeKnight or whatever that guy's name is, and Jeff Loeb and all those guys. And Iron Fist only got a 10-episode final season because they couldn't be fucked with it anymore. It was just Netflix doing what it does, which is give up on things before it's had a chance to track. Whereas the way that Disney is doing it, or Marvel's doing it through Disney by having the episodes drop weekly and committing to it and having a good campaign in terms of its marketing, and have these guys come out and talk about it and have a podcast, and they know how to get people's eyes on it. And that was what happened with the Netflix series. People dropped off because everybody cracked the shits about Defenders, which is actually still really fucking good. I don't know what everybody's problem is, but that they are taking that stuff, the canon ideas from that, and going, Luke and Jessica ended up together. They had a kid. She's in this show, but she's just a detective now. She's not, doing the superhero shit. He's off doing government work, whatever. Karen's back in it full time. Bullseye's back in it full time. That they're saying that happened within the Marvel universe as well, that it's not this weird corner that adult corner that no one talks about. And then having the Punisher show drop a week after this ends, it's not a mistake. They know where their audience is looking at the moment, and it's at this stuff. It's why Spider-Man looks so interesting, because it's not doing what it's done the last 3 movies. It's really switching gear. It's a street level, adult operatic comic book tale, the kind that they were telling in the early 2000s that was so popular, whether it's Ultimate Spider-Man or Marvel Knights or any of that shit. That's where people are looking, because this huge cosmic shit that's been going on within the movie universe for so long is now going to culminate in Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think people are kind of fucking exhausted. Whereas this is a small, contained story that still has wonderful tendrils, and possibilities reaching everywhere, and yet is of a piece. When you get to this final episode, it is absolutely, even though it's a cliffhanger, it's a definitive ending.
I feel like this is the first time that Daredevil has actually won at the end of a season.
Yeah, even though he ends up in prison. Yeah,
and even though he ends up in the prison and Wilson Fisk isn't in a prison, But that's kind of how each and every season has ended, except for Daredevil Born Again season 1, where he becomes the mayor and things get even worse. This is kind of like the Empire Strikes Back thing, where like, you know, things end worse, or like things that start like at the beginning of this, at least, like it's become worse than what they were. It's a fight to fight another day, not a fight to end his tyranny. But then in the middle of the season, Matt realizes that he has to go. Like there's like, if there is no way both of them walk out of this alive, and he's willing to take that step. And he does that. He takes off his mask and he offers him grace, you know?
Yeah, it's an interesting moment because, of course, a white collar criminal, a fat cat, who, despite the fact that he's just revealed himself to be the monster he actually is, like where he gets outed by BB, and the footage of the guy, the first mate of the Northern Star comes up, and it says in, you know, Daredevil, and then Matt outs himself, so he doesn't have that card to play anymore either. So Wilson loses his fucking mind. Boo. And he starts fucking tearing people in half, man. You've got fantastic, you know, Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones hasn't aged, by the way. Not that that's important, but she absolutely hasn't aged a day. Just fucking murking motherfuckers with Matt coming down a hallway, taking out the anti-vigilante task force guys. And then fucking White Tiger flips in and starts, you know, scratching the shit out of motherfuckers. Billy clubs everywhere. And then at the other end of that hallway, Wilson Fisk is lifting up men and pushing them into door jams and like halving them like fucking Jason Voorhees. It's incredible. And yet at the end of it, and like it's almost a reverse storming of the Capitol. Like it is a force for good, and they're pulling the mask down and, you know, like resist, rebel. We are Daredevil kind of situation going against the establishment. And some of them just want to hurt people. Like Matt has to stop them from beating up Wilson and being like, I offer you grace, take the deal, go into exile, you know, and never come back to New York, and I'll go to prison, and we'll both be out of everybody's way, and we'll both be, you know, New York will be better without our conflict going on in it. Of course, a fat cat, white collar criminal, murderer or not, is not going to have to go to prison. Are you kidding me? That's not what happens. He's rich and he's white, and he's also an elected official. He'll be at fucking, even if he did go to prison, it'd be some fucking camp fed bullshit where he's, you know, it's 5-star and there's a pool. And, you know, he's going to go on exile to a beach, which is exactly what would happen in real life. He's not going to go to an actual maximum security prison where he deserves to be. Typical of what would happen, particularly in the United States. And Matt, a person who is, yes, okay, perpetrated some crimes in an attempt to, you know, use his abilities to make New York, and particularly Hell's Kitchen, better, ends up in a maximum security prison staring at a wall. Like, yes, working class people get kicked in the dick all the time. And you're a superhero or not, it doesn't matter.
I feel like season 2 becomes a lot about the city, like even more than season 1. Like it becomes about the like season 1 can be looked at as, you know, Man Without Fear. Like he fears getting back into becoming Daredevil in the beginning, but then he has to. Fisk gets elected, and then season 2 is like the Man Without Fear influencing the city, so that even in prison, the city lives on with his ideas of, you know, being without fear.
Yes, he does. He becomes a symbol, which again leads even more into why I think it's going to end up being Shadowland, because he's become a warlord and he's going to become the thing that ultimately he was trying to destroy, which is, you know, mythologizing people. Yeah, it's really well written. It's really well executed. I think from episode to episode, it's really strong. Like there's not, you know, you're watching the first season, you're like, that bank episode you could have left that out and it would have made a difference. So there was some weak storytelling going on here. Whereas here each episode feels isolated in that it does everything that it needs to do, but it also feels so continuous and of a piece. And also to be able to have the balls to be like, Matt outs himself. He beats Wilson, but he outs himself and is then put in prison, and that's where you end. And knowing that there's a year before we get to see it again, fucking, I applaud the balls, because people don't usually have that kind of patience. Like, no, I want the fucking whole thing now because the internet has fucked up my attention span. I don't know who that guy is, but I'm so excited for the wait now. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to see trailers. I don't want to see leaked story information. I don't want to see nothing. I want to figure it out. I want to see Spider-Man and be like, see what pops up in there. What's Frank doing? Does Frank find out something about Daredevil in that? Where's he going? Is he on his way to break Matt out of prison when fucking Spider-Man runs into him? Who knows? Because in the comics, he fucking breaks into prison. Well, he doesn't break into prison. He gets himself caught and he gets put in prison so that he can protect Matt from all the people who are going to take him out because he's been outed as Daredevil. And Danny Rand's running around dressed up as Daredevil to try and throw people off the scent because he didn't out himself in the same way that he does in this. But yeah, I mean, I've always talked about it. The Marvel Knights series of comics that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, spearheaded by Joe Quesada, like that series of books, which were Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher, Garth Ennis' series, all that stuff. Like that's when I rediscovered comics from being a kid of reading them and stuff, and then having, my high school years be like, well, that's don't tell anyone you're into comics, because that's nerd shit. Now the irony of that is that I couldn't give a fuck, and also that's the most popular media in the world, clearly. But that's when I came back. That Daredevil series was like, oh shit! Like I knew who Daredevil was, but that was the series that was like, oh man, this is for me. And then going back and reading Frank's run, and then when Brubaker came in and he was doing this prison shit, and it was just. Yeah, like this is where my interest is for Marvel. Like, you can take and leave the movies at this point. They're fine, but this is proper long form adult storytelling, talking about real shit, but using genre, which is my fucking favorite thing to do. Like, you can tell me a story that's about sort of, the political corruption that goes on in large cities. You can tell me about what it's like to be a fugitive or a minority and be targeted by these people. And you can do all that stuff really, really well and just have it be normal people. But if you put a guy in a devil costume and you give a woman super strength and you make a kingpin, just an absolute murderous person, and have one of the antagonists be a crack shot who never misses, and all of that stuff, and put it in the comic book noir genre, I'm going to show up. And I feel like everybody else is standing behind me in line, because this has been a huge, huge boon for not only Marvel, being that this is, the second thing that's come out in this new phase after First Steps, but yeah, just for storytelling in general in this space, because everyone got real tired, and now Daredevil, it's like, we're back. We're thick, THICC. KK, whatever. I don't care. Thick. It's fat. It's a fat show. It's PHAT.
I hope that this gets fucking 6 more seasons, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it all. I want to see fucking old man Daredevil. Like Cox is like, he's literally like 1 month younger than me. So
holy shit, okay.
I want to see homie up there. When I'm 50, I want him to be 50 and doing this still. And I'll be going, oh, go Daredevil. I'm going to outsource my masculinity to you because I can't throw a billy club or get erections.
You can do both, man. You just gotta.
You can. I think one follows the other. If I was to have an actual billy club, I would get an erection. Like I think Juan's got the replicas.
Yeah.
Of the billy clubs. As soon as I walked into his house, I would get stiff from just having those near me. Love Daredevil.
Before we end,
yes,
I want to do favorite hero moment, favorite villain moment, and a moment that surprised you.
Okay, favorite hero moment. Matt outing himself, like, to save Karen. That's not about anybody else. It's not. Sure, it's a means to an end, but when they meet outside and he's like, I didn't come to break you out, and she's like, oh, good, because I wouldn't come with you. We love each other.
Yeah.
They were like, no, he's doing that to save the woman he loves. Like, there's no other reason in the world, everybody. Love. It's the only reason.
Foggy would have been so proud.
He would have, and it warms my heart. The fantastic flashback episode with Aldous Henson coming back, and you see his soul of like giving that guy the money, and You know, like just, yeah, beautiful. What's your favorite hero moment?
Well, both of them have to do with Bullseye. So the first one is when Matt leaves him in the cathedral and then goes out, has the realization that he has to save him, comes back in. How it's filmed is that it is like the anti-vigilante task force is breaking in, and the scene is, or like the scene is blue, and then there's a red light, and you see Daredevil's hand offering a hand for help to Bullseye, and he takes his hand and they run together. It is the ultimate badass moment of this season for me.
Absolutely. And the visual storytelling and the color story, like the use of color to tell that story is really strong this season. I think it's, although it doesn't look like the Netflix series, it is beautifully shot. Just you go and just have a look at not like promotional stills, but just stills pulled from the actual show. They're fucking stunning. You could frame them. It's amazing.
And my number 2, because it's just badass, and technically he's doing the right thing by hurting the anti-vigilante task force. Episode 4 opening, Bullseye in the diner, just all of it. He's showing off. He's in his element. He leans over to the guy in the diner who's eating lobster for breakfast, and says, "I'm one of the good guys," and he's found his purpose and he's happy, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing that he's having such a good day, and he's got such a nice little life. You know, he makes a special egg for that dog or the cat rather, or whatever. Yeah. You know, and everybody thinks he's weird, but he's just getting along and being himself. Amazing. Also, just want to call out real quick the fucking mic drop, not the mic drop, sorry, the needle drop at the end of this episode. Another fucking great Radiohead track from Amnesiac. Just I can't remember a Pyramid song, and having the last season end with everything in its right place, which has had a huge resurgence since this. Remember when fucking that song by Kate Bush or whoever it was came out, and it was on that episode of Stranger Things, and then everybody did a cover? That's what's happened, you know, on Instagram. Everybody's doing covers of Everything in the Right Place, which is one of the best Radiohead songs ever written. And Kid A is an interesting album for a lot of reasons, but that song in particular is golden. And yeah, to finish this season with that song of him in the prison and passing all the AVF guys, you know, in the prison, they're like, counselor, like they all know who he is now. Oh shit, you know, Powell's in there. And yeah, I am wet with anticipation for the next season. Let me tell you that much. Favorite villain moment is what I talked about when fucking Fisk goes full berserker and literally snaps a person in half using the edge of a wall. Like, holy shit. I said out loud, holy shit. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, so great.
My favorite villain moment with Fisk is a little bit before that, where like he's hiding in the courtroom and the doors are locked, and he gets pissed at Sheila, and he says, "Open the door, open the door, open the door," and then he opens the door and says, "Boo," and fucking kills a guy with one punch.
He's in the comics. They kind of play him as this, you know, fat organized crime dude who's, you know, got his fingers in a lot of pies and is in control of all the little, you know, stuff going on within organized crime in New York. And that's all he was. He was a Spider-Man villain originally, and then Frank Miller took him and put him in his run of Daredevil. And there's one particular moment, look it up, Frank Miller's, you know, Kingpin change in character. He went from this chubby, cherubim-faced fat villain, and then he lit him. He lit him differently. He lit a lighter to light a cigar, and all of a sudden he's got this huge shadow across his face, and boom, he became the Daredevil we know. He's not this big fat lumbering. He's all muscle. Like all of that is muscle, and he is like formidable. You see it in the boxing match. He just takes motherfuckers out. Like it's a real threat to someone even as agile as Daredevil. Great villain. And the one that surprised me the most. The moment that surprised me the most was probably either them killing Danny, killing
Daniel Blake.
What's his name? What's his name again?
Daniel Blake, Michael Gandolfini.
To the Gandolfini's character, but also Karen almost begging Matt to let her kill Bullseye. And knowing what I know about Deborah Ann Wall and her as an actress and how she struggles with this character and how she embodies them. She doesn't watch her performances either. Like, that must have been a really hard place to get her to get Karen to, and still have her be so relatable and so likable. And you forgive her in that moment immediately. You're like, of course, even if you're on Daredevil's team, that shouldn't happen. You understand her feeling because she loved Foggy so much. And you see it when you watch those, particularly the end of season 2 when Nelson Murdoch and Paige has fallen by the wayside and he's gone to work for that other company and they close out their tab at Josie's. Yeah, it was a powerful piece of acting, and I really, really appreciated it from her. And yeah, the moment that did take me by surprise, and I was like, fuck, is he going to let her? I didn't know what was going to happen. So yeah, anytime you can wow me with a performance and surprise me with a story beat, it's you're doing good work.
That that is Frank talking through her.
Yeah, 100% it is. Yeah, she says to him that what he does works. She says that to him to Matt in season 2. What Franks does works. He eliminates the problem. It might not be the right thing to do, but you can't argue with the results.
Yeah.
Those people can no longer hurt anybody ever again.
A moment that surprised me this season was the flashback to Foggy, and then before Nelson Murdoch. Not only in just the way that it looked, but also I did not know that the show Daredevil Born Again knew the impact that Foggy had on Matt as a person. Like, without Foggy, Matt loses his humanity in a certain way. Like, not as in like he'll go out and kill people. It doesn't matter anymore. Because the one person that he did want to save, he couldn't. To have the show actually point out and say, we do realize what we did, or we do realize why he was important. But it caught me by surprise. And it was also about grace, or like forgiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. As is the entirety of the themes behind the character of Daredevil is about grace and forgiveness. And like I said to you the other night, there is no greater freedom in life than to be found in forgiveness. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this special bonus episode on the Born Again. We fucking love it. Can't wait for season 3. What are your theories and your crystal ball musings about what season 3 might be? Please just let us know in the comments. Please shoot us a message anytime. We'd love to hear from you all. We'll see you next time for something else special, for some more bonuses, but we'll have a brand new episode coming out next week on 500 Days of Summer, so we hope you enjoy that one. In the meantime, Addie.
You're the double B. No.
I'll be the double B. Sure, why not?
you're the double D Daredevil.
I am definitely double D's. That's right, because
it doesn't come up from both ends. It's two.
Is that how it works? Okay. Okay, me and Addie are going to go and write the porno. The porno? Fuck. Me and Addie are going to go and write the porno parody of this TV show now. So we'll see you later, everybody. And remember, fuck hate.
Love wins.